lunch, conversation, networking, meeting and interacting with all our partners in the exhibition area. Because isn't this afternoon in this edition all about building those relationships and strengthening them further? So thank you all very much. Firstly, I truly appreciate all of you being back well in time. So thank you. For some of us who are still enjoying conversation over dessert, may I please request all of you to join us inside, because after food for the soul, we have food for thought coming our way, really bringing to you the best of CFOs amongst the industry leaders here, the CFO view, as we feel that in today's day and age, it is most vital for us to know how are things working, especially the number game. With GST becoming a part of things, how is it that we see viewpoints changing? So as we take our theme of the India Advantage, reform, retail and rising consumption, I'm so glad to be welcoming our esteemed speakers here on stage. Please do put your hands together as they join in. And you know, it's often said that post-lunch sessions are the most difficult for speakers, because after that amazing meal, a lot of us tend to be on the sleeper edge. So your round of applause will show me that you're all out there fresh and ready to learn. Please do put your hands together as I extend a very warm welcome for our moderator, Mr. Yogeshwar Sharma from DLF. Let's hear a round of applause as he steps forward. May I welcome Vineet Agarwala, CFO, Forever New Apparels. Once again, a fabulous name from the market right here. May I please present to you Mr. Saurabh Shah, CFO, Libas. Please do put your hands together as Mr. Shah swerves. May I present to you Mr. Shivendra Nigam, CFO, Santabil. A round of applause as he joins us on stage. May I present to you Mr. Sunil Jain, CFO, Damilano. What an absolute delight, sir, that you've accepted our warm invite to be a part of this panel discussion. Mr. Shivendra Nigam, CFO, Canterbury, once again, a very noted voice from the industry. So pleasure having you, Mr. Nigam, as a part of this segment. Mr. Shah being there, Mr. Agarwala, and of course, Mr. Yogeshwar Sharma moderating this session. So we have a lot of action coming right our way. Please enjoy, and I hope that you have some very interesting questions for our panelists. All yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So I have a very esteemed panel here with me, and for a change, all of them are head of finance function. Generally in retail, I mean marketing, business development, and other functions come forward. But this time in this panel, we have finance heads, and they understand percentages. So my respect for them is 10% more, because I could not complete chartered accountancy, and they are all chartered accountants. So Shivendra, I mean, first I would like them to introduce themselves, because I will not be able to do justice to their introduction. Requesting Shivendra to please introduce yourself.
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me on an esteemed panel. So yes, as you know, I am Shivendra Nigam, representing a very old homegrown brand, Canterbury. We are probably the oldest one, 25-year-old brand. And I am heading the finance department. I am CFO for the Canterbury Retail India Limited. So that is what, and we can continue with this, right?
Yeah. Saurabh, would you like to, I mean, say a few words about yourself?
Good afternoon all. Thank you for inviting us over here. I am CFO for one of the fastest D2C brand in India, fastest growing D2C brand in India, which is Libas. And before Libas, I was working with the likes of apparel. I was heading Galleries Lafayette and the collective business, the international brands. And before that, I also worked with Reliance in the capacity of, again, CFO for Reliance brands, their portfolio of brands across, and also with Agio and Landmark Group. So yeah, that has been.
Thank you, Saurabh. Welcome to the panel. Sunilji, please introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you everyone. Thank you for inviting me here. I am Sunil Jain. I am a CFO in Damilano Leather. This is a basically retail business. I have a total 20 years, more than 20 years in this line. Prior to that, I was in the retail business in Liquid & Hammond and Lee Cooper, all branded. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sunilji. Vineet.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I am Vineet Agarwala. I am the CFO of Forever New Apparels. It's an Australian brand focused only on women's wear, majorly into dresses and some other categories. Happy to be here and thanks Mapic for inviting us today.
Thank you, Binit. So, just to remind, Canterville, Libas, Da Milano, and Forever New. So these are the people behind the finance people. You know, most of these days, no, the things are coming in combo packs. Friends and enemy. So these are frenemies of business. These are the ones who create businesses and sometimes they obstruct businesses. Am I right? Okay. So I'll start with a very simple question of GST. So there was a lot of talks about GST. Anybody of you would like to say, is it beneficial or it has reduced the benefit?
So yes, the day GST reform came, that is 22nd of September, I exactly remember, because first time what we have seen for last 10 years, if you say, government was also pushing toward capex. They have done a tremendous job in terms of capex, and revenue was due and operating was due. So they did it in last financial year. In the last budget, we have seen they have given a big bonanza of approximately 1 lakh crore, and the GST was due. So the moment it came, we noticed the sentiments from the consumer side also came out. Because in the month of, I remember, October and November, our same store sales growth was exponentially high. It's 17 to 18%.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Matlab, this is big one, right? So we have seen this benefit, and specifically in a brands who's operating in a range of 1100 and 1200 rupees, average selling price, ASP. I think many brands like this, Libas is also operating, I think, in this ASP. They were, because my 60% of the sales within the bracket of 1000 to 2500 rupees, right?
So it was
So
direct
immediately 12 to 5% it came down. So we have seen this. Then obviously due to this war and other sentiments, but now again it started picking. March was good, everything was. So yes, I can support it, at least in this, where we are serving the masses, tier 2 and tier 3 cities where we are doing the business. Yes, GST has definitely helpful, and government is looking ki if you want to grow the economy, you have to do for the consumption as well. Capex was due, they are doing a tremendous job, now the time for the consumption. So yes, GST helped it.
Yeah. Anyone, anyone of you would like to say, like you are like bridge to luxury, accessible away from the mass. So did it make any impact on you? Or?
So look, for us, the recent reforms increase the tax rates on almost everything, but I'll not restrict my comment to the recent reforms. I think overall what happened after GST come in, it definitely improved the transparency, it improved with compliances. So I think a lot of data was available. So it also helped you change the business structure. So you can consolidate warehouses because from multiple state taxes you move to a single taxes.
Yep.
For us or luxury brands, I think the cost has not reduced under GST.
So but cost impact has not happened.
Has not been there. But being a global brand, I think what global brands expect is that consistency, transparency, and compliance. So I think from that perspective, a lot of improvement has happened over the last 6-7 years with GST. But at the same time, on the downside, the compliance work has definitely increased.
Work has increased.
Increased definitely over the years.
So, sorry, you would like to say something here?
In fact, to put that in a perspective, how GST impacted for a mid-segment brand like Libas and Canterville is that from the P&L, it got into my balance sheet as an asset. So right now, till 2nd of September, I was more on towards the payable sides in terms of GST to the government. Now, after 2nd September, because of the modulation in the GST, and since this entire 5 to 18% taxation which has come in, because of which now I am getting that GST as a part of my asset classification. So it became a problem to me as a working capital efficiency, but it had given me some sort of a breathing in my P&L by 2.5, 3%. So definitely that's a game. We even have to see that how it works out in next 6-7 months down the line, how government changes or how the reforms comes across this working capital utilization of the GST.
Oh, lovely. Sunil ji, आपके business में कोई impact आया है GST का?
Yes, definitely in our business, basically GST impacted the cash flow. Earlier system, there was no tax on the stock transfer, but under the GST, there will be a tax if you transfer to your own brand. So it is blocking the cash flow. Second point, in GST, in our business, earlier tax rate was 5% to 12%. Now it's 18%. Definitely, they allowed certain inputs on the services part also, but overall, it's had impacted 2 or 3% on overall cost effective. So basically, it has increased the price also at all.
Yeah, thank you. So Saurabh, you want to
So one thing you can see, everyone is GST beneficent. We are happy at this size.
Yeah.
Our consumer sentiment positive, and the people are also happy where it is increasing from 12 to 18%, but their cash blockage has been releasing. So it's fine with everyone.
It's a win-win in a way, finally. Saurabh, coming to the crux of this panel, when we open a new store, what are the, points which you have to really tick, and what are the points you have to really, which helps in decision making, कि ये होगा तो नहीं करना है, negative list.
Good question though, like to put that in a perspective, things have totally changed in past 15 years, the way we look into opening a store. The one of the saying which we say in our office right now in Libas is that we are not going after the deals. We are making the deals internally when we are evaluating any of the project.
Can you elaborate this, please? I hope all of you are with us. We are not talking to each other. Yes? Yeah. Oh, थोड़ा दो चार लोग हैं ये सारे हैं. Yeah.
So when I say that we are making a deal is that this is my unit economics of a business.
Okay.
How I am placed in terms of my gross margin, how am I placed in terms of my other marginal costs, being manpower, being utility cost, being other areas of concerns, my corporate cost and other allocations of the cost. This is what my capex, because capex also forms a very important or integral part when we are making any decision to open a store, because that is a value which I am putting on day zero in any of a store to operate in. Basis all that economics, whether my store will generate that sort of a revenue which I require from day one.
पर इसमें कुछ तो हमारे पास डेटा है, कुछ assumption या hunch से चलना पड़ेगा. वो कैसे decide करेंगे आप?
I'll give you two answers to it. One for the brand like Libas and one for the brand which is absolutely new to India and who is just starting off, because I have had an experience in both of them.
Sure.
For a brand like Libas, since we have so much of a data coming from my e-commerce, my shop in shops, I have around 700 doors in shop in shops across India. I myself have around 49 stores operating in India right now.
49.
49 in Libas. So we have a very fair amount of data lying with us in terms of what is the competition doing, what our competitive brand, what numbers are they operating at, and that becomes a very good base for us. We can take some sort of a sensitivity analysis, say 10%, 15%, which gives us a sense of that what will be the number, what is the projected number. Now let me give you another
So
story.
how many times you go wrong?
Oh, many times. Basically, there is a study of JLL on this, Yogesh, to give you an answer.
Please.
So they have given us that in any store, in any ecosystem where we are opening a store for any brand, generally 70% is the best what you can go right.
So just to put it simply, if there are 100 stores, 70 stores will be doing very well and 30 will be laggards.
Yes, that will be the laggards.
Okay.
That we keep on evaluating on a month-on-month basis where how much money we are spending towards it, how much my cash flow can allow me to run that store, because every store has a story, and every store, some store will have a manpower problem, some store will have a supply chain problem, some store will have a footfall problem. So there are different KPIs for every single store. Learning, understanding along with the retail team, understanding along with the store staff, like what exactly is the problem. Is the assortment plan is wrong for that particular. For small example, in Lulu Cochin, we saw that we are not generating a good revenue. We understood that that is a very specific market, and we have to be very specific in terms of assortment planning, because Cochin is very Kerala based. Their product is very different. So we have started preparing or making manufacturing those sort of regional clothes, and we started doing bonkers.
Okay.
So it's every story is different for different stores.
So 70-30 is your experience. Coming to you, Beneath, you are sitting in a very interesting price point and positioning of the brand. So to say, there is no competition, no?
No, there is definitely competition. There is. I don't think there
What
is.
do you
any
consider
business in
yourself as a
India
competition,
which is competition free.
So here, just to remind everyone, he represents Forever New. So I think all of us know Forever New. Especially the women. Yeah.
So I think just adding on to Saurabh's point, I think the fundamentals of finance for opening a new store hasn't changed. So things like EBITDA.
So आपके कितने store हैं?
So we have 50 stores as of today.
50
stores.
So वो ratio वही है 50, 70,
No.
30.
So I think in luxury, I think expansion or opening new store is much more curated and much more slower. I think more than footfall, what matters is the brand mix, the brand fit, the catchment area, the other brands which are there on the mall, the type of footfall you are getting rather than just the footfall counter. Because it's a much, you have to look for a brand fit before going into a mall
Yeah.
with a luxury
So,
brand.
so adjacencies are very important from your point
Yes.
of view. Yeah.
So we believe the expansion has to be much more curated, much more slower. The investment is there. The investment will have to be a little patient. The payback might be a little longer. Capital is there, but it's never, let's say, I'll say, free on the table that you just open store
So
anywhere.
बिना पे पैक कैलकुलेशन के स्टोर ओके नहीं होगा.
That can never go away, especially if you are asking to a finance professional. So that will always be there.
So this is a very important point, no? ये पे बैक आपकी लाइफ में आया कभी नहीं आया? बहुत मतलब जो भी लोग काम कर रहे हैं उनकी लाइफ में पे बैक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि कितने दिनों में रिटर्न वापस आएगा. तो इसके बिना मतलब नहीं. और वो कितनी बार गलत होता है, मतलब ऐसे मैंने कहा 5 साल में हो जाएगा.
I think it depends from organization to organization. I think here in Forever New, I think I have seen only 2 or 3 closures over last 4 years. So it's been very
4
very,
years?
Yes. So it's, and again these were old stores which are not doing well. So over last 2 years we have not closed a single store. So
Yes,
the ratio has been very very well.
Yeah.
And you being from the mall side, you know how the other brands and then Forever New is doing a particular
So
mall.
ब्रांड्स वाले 4 इयर्स में मॉल वाले फिर आके कहते हैं कि रेनोवेट करो.
बस इशू होता है कि मॉल वाले आगे बोलते रेंट बढ़ा दो अब.
तो पे बैक फिर शिफ्ट हो जाता है. सुनील जी, आपको मतलब योर एक्सपीरियंस, यू आर मोस्टली इन द मॉल्स एंड द ट्रांजिट ओरिएंटेड लाइक एयरपोर्ट्स एंड.
Yeah, I tell you, in Damilano, we are 75% at mall and 20% business in the from the airport and 10% related to from the high street.
ओके.
This product is a basically luxury product and the premier product, and so it required that specifically from it get the sale from the mall side only, maximum sale from the mall side. So basically in this field, when we go for the new business or new store opening, so there are 2-3 parameters. One is whether the mall is the new or existing mall. What would be the footfall? What would be the proxy projected turnover? And what would be my ROI and EBITDA? Here CFO role comes first. What is the balancing between the EBITDA and ROI? Because there are certain situations EBITDA level is very low, but ROI is return. So CFO can plan it as in CFO role. We can invest rather than if I have a surplus fund or I have a
सुनील जी
fund.
एक मिनट रुकूंगा, मतलब काफी लोगों को अबिटा और आरओआई में डिफरेंस नहीं पता होगा.
EBITDA, I explain EBITDA, earning before adjustment of interest, tax and depreciation.
Yeah.
ROI means return on investment. ROI means whatever fund we invest in the business, what is the return. This you can simply check the whether similar fund which we put in FD and what rate of interest we get from
Yes.
the bank. That is called simply in ROI, return on investment. So basically, as in CFO has to balance the both things, but ROI is the most important point because it's the generate cash flow. EBITDA never generate the cash flow, it's a book figure, it can show you the yes, you have this profit or something.
Yes.
And ROI give you the exact position where your fund. And second important point which is the payback period. If I invest some fund in the business, when I will get the return back. This
तो
is
आपके
the,
हिसाब से आइडियल क्या है आपकी बिजनेस, आपकी जैसे
in
बिजनेस?
our business, it's 18 month to 24 month maximum. We try to reduce it to 15 months.
18 to 24 मंथ्स में पे बैक आ जाना चाहिए.
आ जाना चाहिए. It depends. Somewhere we new malls it may take the 30 month also, but some normally on average the 20 month we can take average.
या थैंक यू. शिवेंद्र जी आपके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से.
So first of all, as Saurabh said, he given me the confidence because he have given the ratio is 70-30. We are having this ratio is to 90-10. So 90% are more
Stores are profitable.
Are profitable.
At the store level.
Thank you. Yeah.
At the store level.
Hardly, yeah. At a store, not only store level. All even when I'm putting my corporate cost, that is also being that. We are very core business guy. Bottom line has to be seen. So in terms of ROC as well and payback period, we have a very clear mandate. A store has to become, because Cantabile is a brand, which gives you within 6 months is your break even. And on the basis of investment, what the capex investment we have a same 18 months to 24 months is our payback period. So very fine KPI is being maintained and very thorough.
Thank you. So many a times, no, most of us like prefer the malls over high street. I mean, you have to say yes.
We are the high street. We are the high street.
We will also go for high street.
You love malls, no?
High street.
Yeah.
We are the high streets.
You are high street guy.
Yeah.
आपका तो mall है basically. So majority is malls. So malls are the better.
So
It's equal 2 versus 2. So now
but
it's
there is a
difficult for
reason,
you
there is a
to.
scientific reason behind it.
मैं उनकी side चला जाता हूँ. So like one thing which comes to my mind is the occupancy cost. So occupancy cost generally बहुत reasonable होती है अच्छे malls में. तो what is the ideal occupancy cost according to your business plan?
For brand like us, who is working at a mid-level segment, occupancy cost should not be more than 17 to 18%.
17 to 18%.
That is max. Like that should be the max part.
Excluding maintenance.
Yeah, excluding maintenance.
Absolutely. Our real estate cost is coming in approximately. We are lesser.
Sorry, you're saying it at the overall level, not city one, tier two.
No. From overall level,
Overall
17
level.
to 18.
But
Yeah.
like in cities like Delhi and Mumbai,
So definitely. So that is where the things comes in, which is averaging out.
Okay.
So see what happens even in the cities like Delhi and Mumbai. We also open a malls or place or we take the area to get the some sort of a brand marketing as well. If I will go out and take a hoarding, and if I'll vis-a-vis take some sort of a mall space, I equate the cost even at that level, that what exactly is the marketing which I'm going to give,
Okay.
and what is the footfall or eye catching is coming for the brand. So that also equation comes into play. So that's the reason I'm saying 17-18% at a brand level.
Okay.
When I go for a mall, 23-24.
Okay.
When I go for a high street, 13.
Yeah.
And average out is 17-18%.
but it varies from category to category, especially in your
Absolutely.
category. Shivendra, in your like.
So in our case, my overall front end cost is approximately 31-32%, out of which my real estate cost is approximately 13 to 14%. What we are being operating.
13 to 14.
13 to 14. 13 to 14% is my rental cost. Obviously, as you said, tier 1 rentals is slightly higher, but tier 2 and tier 3 is booming.
Yeah. Sunilji, if you want to answer, I mean, it's up to you. What is the occupancy cost? Is the preferred cost overall?
It's the occupancy cost depend on the where we have the location on where the
Yeah.
normally
but overall,
normally occupancy cost the front end basically it would be the between 40 to 50% on that.
14 to 15%. Yeah. And Vinit, आपके experience में?
So like we are almost all our stores in malls. So
I think you can afford more, no?
we can definitely afford more. I think I just need some rebates from somewhere. But I think the rental costs are definitely higher compared to the other panelists sitting here. It's upwards of 20% definitely. But the point I want to make is that we are a global brand, so we do see data for a lot of other countries which are there and which are developed countries. So I think in terms of rent to revenue ratio, India is one of the highest. So I think if you even go to developed countries, I think the rentals are lower, the productivity is much higher compared to India. And almost, let's say, India rentals are almost 1.5 times in terms of ratio if you compare with any other global market. Again, it's not only that the rentals are high, it's a mix of high rentals, selected premium malls, plus also productivity on the store. So I think everything combined is basically pushing the rent to revenue ratio higher in India.
Yeah.
Adding one more point on this, Yogesh, is that we also are seeing a big shift in last couple of years, where we are envisaging that there might be a quite reduction we will be finding in our retail occupancy cost. Why? Because the tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India is taking this entire game to another level.
Yes.
When we are talking as a brand specific point of view, and which we are seeing, even e-commerce, even quick commerce, all that has given a relevant data pointers for us to analyze that how tier 2 and tier 3 is taking the entire game totally different. So the entire catchment is changing for a brand like Libas, I'm sure for even Cantor Bill. And there we are seeing we are focusing to get a good margin per se in terms
So
of.
basically the occupancy costs are lower and the commercial viability is better.
Should be.
Yeah. Shivendra?
The same thing, what he said, it's absolutely perfect. In the same scenario, tier 2 and tier 3 city was they are going now.
Yeah.
So the future of retail is definitely not only in tier 1, 8 or 10 cities is lying. It is going to be tier 2, 3 and obviously occupancy cost.
Sure. So, I mean, I'll take a pause here. Anybody has any question? I mean, they have a lot of knowledge. Anybody wants to ask something before I proceed further? कोई सवाल नहीं है ना? मेरे पास है वैसे अभी. Anybody? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आंसर किए इन्होंने. ऑक्यूपेंसी कॉस्ट बता दिया, जनरल सब कुछ, काफ़ी बिजनेस प्लान का काफ़ी चीज़ें बता दी हैं इन्होंने. अगर आप otherwise I'll continue. Thank you. So Shivendra, मतलब what keeps you awake at night? क्या आपका सबसे ज़्यादा worry कहाँ पर आएगा?
Sir, honestly, as a CFO,
Finance plan में है?
as a CFO, we are all CFOs here.
हाँ.
So CFO is no more is a compliance part.
Yeah.
It is 10-15 years back when it is compliance, whether आपकी return same time पे file हुई है, आपने ये, that's fine, that's gone. All experts are there for that. Why are you putting your head on this where experts are there, right? So what I personally believe, it's more about CFO role is completely changed over a period of specifically post-COVID. You need to continuously raise the alarms to the higher management, to the promoter and everyone. And what is very important, you need to have a good players in the team. Retail is, there is no rocket science. It's like a, always being, New Zealand cricket team, हमने देखी है ना, they hardly produced great players, but they are always been able to produce good players. So you need to have a good players. Greatness की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, no rocket science. So what compliance part is there, but continuously you need to raise alarm. Like in retail, what is the most important aspect? Is inventory. Anywhere, any category is piling up. Like in our case, we are, when producing one season merchandise, it has to be cleared 70 to 80%, right? Out of which you need to go for the data-driven more, which specific SKU is not selling, right? You launched a new SKU, that's doing good. पहले साल सर मैंने 50% कर दिया, but it is way behind from the company's average because that 20% gap will keep on creating and give you the tension. And what will be impacting? That will be impacting your cash flows.
Okay.
You've never been analyzed your numbers from P&L. Always as a CFO, start from the cash flow.
So
Simple.
you mentioned 2 points. One is the compliances part of it,
Absolutely.
and the second?
Second is always raise alarm whenever you are seeing your cash flow is in stress.
Yeah. But मेरा एक feedback है, कई बार false alarm बहुत आते हैं.
Sir, vigilance team is there. Yes, when you know what is the vigilance alarms की बात करो, we received a huge amount of customer complaint. You need to find out कितनी सही हैं और कितनी फर्जी हैं.
शिवेंद्र, मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ कि many times 1 month goes down and then everybody starts panicking.
It's not about couple of months or couple of quarters. My personal 20 years of experience is telling you need to get, like in this, you cannot take a decision overnight on a business. यार दुकान खोली थी, एक महीने नहीं चली, हम बंद कर देते हैं. You have to give the time.
Yeah.
There is a particular period for all the alarms. You have to analyze, you give the time, then take the decision. ना जल्दी किस बात की है?
जल्दी. Saurabh, what keeps you awake? I mean, अगर कोई टेंशन होता है तो सबसे ज़्यादा टेंशन किस एरिया में होता है?
As a CFO, the sleepless nights goes with what I look after is the growth with the financial discipline. Growth is no more a concern in a country like India.
Yeah.
Envisaging the brand like Libas, which we have just crossed 1,000 crore ARR, and going into that line, growth is never a problem. It is with growth with the financial discipline. When I say that, I was talking to some of the founders some time back, and he asked me like, what as a CFO you look at? And I have given him the answer that I look at a predictive tool rather than the post-facto analysis.
Oh.
The entire post-facto analysis version, which was 5 years, 6 years back when we started 10 years back when we started the things looking into that way, have changed, and we have more become business partners now.
Yeah.
It is a pre-facto analysis that while taking a decision, what are the 10 things as a risk mitigating tool or a risk mitigating options, what are the best of the probability what you can go for.
What can go wrong has to be assessed
Absolutely.
beforehand.
As you very rightly said, Yogesh ji, is that when you have to raise the alarm, there's a very important, in one of my organization, I'll not name it, one decision we took wrong and things has gone very wrong. So, where to raise the alarm, how much to raise the alarm, probability decision, it had to be a very scientific tool. Every risk, every single element, when you are taking a call, sit back in the boardroom, so we don't rush, we don't hurry to take a call. We take a pause whenever there's a new plan coming in, wherever new things comes out. We see all the alternative, good, bad, ugly scenario. Do the test case analysis, do the sensitivity analysis, understand where we are going wrong, because हर जगह पैसा लग रहा है. मैं उठा के कैश दे रहा हूँ, वो मुझे वापस मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. और अगर नहीं मिला तो, see, as a CFOs, the primary objective of us is to increase the value of a shareholder.
Yes.
And to keep on managing that my people and my employees are getting salary on time.
Yes.
If I'm able to manage these two gamuts, I think that as a CFO, we do the right thing. And that is what will give me a sleepless night.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Very nicely put together. Sunilji, anything, one tension?
No, I would like to give this in different way. Basically, in organization, CFO, F is the most important part in the organization. This is called finance. Where in any organization, wherever fund moves, anywhere, any place, CFO would be with the finance, with that. In CFO is divided into three parts, basically operational activity, compliances, and planning and forecasting. In CFO's major role is that to ensure companies should have all compliances, there should not be any leakages in the business organization, and about the forecasting also. If there is anything happens and later on, so there should be pre-planned. Means everything as a CFO, he has to plan entire month in advance. What is my statutory? My team should be paid on time. Every compliance should be paid on time, so it can keep the company to risk free for any problem from the statutory department side.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunil. Vinit,
I think we see it quite differently, honestly. So for us, we firmly believe that, look, if you lose some EBITDA in some year, you can
trust
definitely,
louder. Huh?
so if you lose some EBITDA in some year, you can definitely recover EBITDA in the next year or going forward. But what is more critical is brand. If brand is damaged once, it's very difficult to reverse the damage. So I think what keeps us awake at night is protecting the brand from things like over expansion or higher discounting, mindless discounting, to which ultimately creates a perception that it's a discount-led brand. So for us, protecting the integrity of the brand is more critical, I'll say. And that's what
very important point. I mean, if once a brand's reputation goes down, it's very difficult to bring it back. Yeah. So somebody has a question.
Yeah, I have a question in relate to, we have talked about the rent to revenue ratio, we have talked about the occupancy cost. So I just want to ask you, being a CFO of all different category of brands, dealing with both high street and malls, so how do you create a balance between the opportunity cost versus the occupancy cost?
Wow.
Because sometimes it's very important for you to be part of that particular group or a brand you want to associate and multiply your portfolio. So even at loss you have to run, and when is your hard stop for that kind of scenario?
Sir, what a wonderful question. Thank you very much. Thank you. So opportunity cost भी देखनी है और occupancy cost भी देखनी है ना?
So we basically were discussing the same thing sometime back in our word, and how to evaluate or take a decision in terms of whether to open or not. One, see, it's more of a trial and error. There's no straightforward answer to it. But to put it in a trial and error, what we started looking after is, with our BD and with our retail team, is that what are the options available in that cluster? So now we started going through a cluster approach. Like if we have to open, say suppose in HSR, मेरे पास HSR में सारे opportunities रखे दिखाओ. Just not that कि ये store आ गया and ले लो, because that happens a lot. BD team goes, एक store आ गया, एक location आ गया, they come on the boardroom, यही location है, sign करो वरना HSR गया. But later now we have started understanding ऐसा नहीं है. एक जाएगा दूसरा आएगा. तो पहले cluster क्या है? What exactly is the cluster? What is the ecosystem of that cluster?
Yes.
What are the different brands sitting over there? What is the timelines and time what we can, look at the opportunity? Definitely, opportunity cost is important, but that is something which we have not seen. Occupancy will sit in my P&L. That will be the reality. That will be the real black and white.
Yes.
So we take decision first on occupancy, and we keep opportunity looking at it with the open eyes. This is what I will put into a perspective.
सर आंसर मिल गया? ठीक है. सो बेसिकली जो है अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट को इन्फॉर्म डिसीजन लेना है, कोई जल्दी नहीं है. एंड समबडी हैज वेरी ब्यूटीफुली सेड दैट नेवर रू अ मिस्ड अपॉर्चुनिटी. नेवर रू अ मिस्ड अपॉर्चुनिटी. कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी निकल गई है तो फिर ज़्यादा उसके ऊपर ध्यान नहीं देना है. मूव ऑन एंड देयर आर अदर ऑप्शंस व्हिच विल कम. है ना शिवेंद्र?
Very perfectly said, very perfectly addressed the answer, because we need to move. Not only, like I said, my occupancy cost is 14% or 13%. I cannot stick. That's the overall company cost. Like in one of the cases, my average store sale is approximately 1.25 to 1.3 CR, right? That is the company average, right? However, in few properties, like in Canterville, we are having stores like 25, 30 years old. Our CP is a flagship market not only for Delhi, it is for India as well, where my occupancy cost is approximately 22 to 23%. But against companies 1.2 crore of my revenue, that one store itself is giving 10 crore of revenue. So my overall EBITDA, that is store level EBITDA, if I am getting 25, 26%, that is giving me hardly 18 to 20%. But at the same time, it is giving me approximately 10 stores EBITDA. So that's the you need to decide. So that is on the spot decision making. Simple. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shwender. Thank you. Vinit, all right? Or anybody else has any question? No question. Okay. So I have one feedback. मैं complaint नहीं कहना चाहता, feedback कहना चाहता हूँ. You know, as CFOs, as a company, you put lot of money in capex, lot of money in producing the goods, logistics, bringing it to the store, and getting a store in a good mall location, and there's huge cost involved. But at the end of it, at the front level, store staff level, we cut corners. And that puts the entire money at risk because the decision making point may, generally speaking, most of the colleagues in the retail are low paid. You know, and that is the decision making point. If they are not motivated enough, firstly, there are very little schools. I mean, they're not schools, there's no formal education on retail, which is like getting there slowly. But then the whole investment is put on risk because we have to pay the minimum wages or slightly above the minimum wages. Why so?
That's right. Honestly speaking, there are two aspects of this. Number one, I'll talk about my brand. We have a 5,300 plus employees, 5,000 plus employees company.
5,000.
5,000 plus employees company we have, 650 plus stores all over India we have. Now, in this case, yes, we have to meet the compliances. Because if compliances would not have been there, log utna bhi nahi denge, right? So what we are doing, insurance we are giving, we are completely paying the minimum wage. On top of that, to motivate them, we have a very, very strong incentivization scheme. Because they are one store manager, he is obviously above minimum wages, but he is our CEO. He is what we are enjoying here because of the hardship of him only, right? Right.
So Shwender, a harsh question. How many times you go to the store?
Every week I used to visit my factory. Okay. Every week I go to my factory, and yes, store once in a month.
It's not easy. The job of a retail staff is not easy to stand whole day.
Not easy. Waiting, yeah. Anything, my experience personally saying, the most toughest task is the consumer business. He is continuously facing the consumer.
Yeah. Okay.
Continuously consumer. That is the most toughest task. We are sitting in an air conditioning room because of him only. So thanks to all of the retail employees, honestly speaking.
Thank you. Saurabh, how
Just
often
to
you
add
go to
on what Mr.
आप
Shivinder
कितनी बार
said,
जाते हो store पे?
week में एक बार, मतलब week या 2 weeks में तो एक बार short, but we'll try to make it in a week. Just to add on what Shivinder is saying, this on the incentive, just to give you a number perspective, on an average, a store staff salary is what, 35, 40,000. We have given an incentive of 1.3 lakhs in our store for one employee. I'm just saying for one employee.
Very nice.
We go to that level. So that is where we as a retail had started understanding that motivation वहाँ लाना पड़ेगा, corporate में नहीं लाना होगा. So just now this month in February we have done our retail meet Udan, where we have called all our store staffs to our head office. They come, they mingle us, we have a party with them. It's all over the places. So that is what we have started knowing as a brand, that motivation वहाँ देना है. Store corporate तो करेगा जो कर रहा है.
ठीक है. सुनील जी, स्टाफ सैलरीज जो हैं, जो रिटेल स्टाफ पे है, वो लोएस्ट लेवल पे क्यों होती हैं?
Actually, it's not at lower level because they also get the incentives. Because in retail store, maximum potential earning people get from the incentive also. And salary, the standard benchmark, which is not above the minimum wages, and based on their experience, everything, based on that we decide. But a part of the salary, major point of earning the retail staff, that is the incentive. They have a good incentive to promote the sale in any retail store. Incentive the best way. That's why it's an incentive. If you add incentive and retail salary, it will more than the back-end salary.
Thank you. Vineet?
So in fact, Yogesh sir, I slightly differ with the point you made, because specifically in malls and for a brand like this to luxury.
Yeah.
I think if you go to a mall, there are 50, 60, 100 brands in the mall. And the salaries, the supply of good manpower, and specifically for us, because almost 90% of our store employees are female, it's just very, very limited. And every brand wants the good person, good people to hire them. So it's, I and we feel that the salaries are purely decided by demand and supply, which is there. So I don't see a reason that in the mall, specifically in luxury or bridge to luxury malls, that people are working on minimum wages. They are paid as per the market standard, which is there, which is decided by the competition and demand and supply.
Thank you, thank you. So we'll stop here unless there's any question. We can keep chatting for a while, but I think we are running out of time. Just to sum up one learning, my business coach gave me a very, I used to answer in averages. कि average itna hota hai, average itna, average hota hai. So he gave me a story that by your logic, if your one leg is on fire and the second leg is on minus 50 degree, very cold, by average you should be all right. But that's not the case. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shwendra, for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Sharma, for not just weaving this segment together, for making it so interactive, and for that final learning. So on an average, we're all doing all right. Let's hear a round of applause for our amazing panelists right here. And now that we have the pleasure of having Mr. Sunil Jain here with us, Mr. Jain, since morning, we've had the absolute privilege of presenting our wonderful speakers with gifts from Da Milano. So may I request you to please present each of our speakers and your co-panelists with some beautiful Da Milano gifts, which I'm sure they're going to enjoy. May I request you to present it to each of our speakers here. Let's hear a round of applause as Mr. Jain personally presents them all with these beautiful bags from Da Milano. And that's going to be a part of their everyday office life is what we hope for. So thank you so very much for that. And I'd like to share with all of you that this is indeed an exciting time for us, as we also take this opportunity and thank our moderator, Mr. Sharma, and Mr. Sunil Jain, presenting him with the Da Milano bag. Let's have a group photograph with all of you before I take a moment and thank them. Let's have a group photograph. We'd like to thank Da Milano for the gifts being presented to our Power Pack panelists. Thank you so very much for joining us. Pleasure having you here.